You see the title, today's video is a book haul. What's up y'all, my name is Lottie if you're new here, and if you're a subscriber, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to be doing this video today because I picked up a few new books recently to add to my physical TBR and I wanted to share them with you. Before we dive into the book haul, I do want to acknowledge that a lot of the books that I purchased for today's video I got as part of the Amazon Prime Day sale. However, I want to make it extremely clear that I don't solely rely on Amazon for my book purchases. I also have a few books in this haul that I picked up from my wonderful local bookstores recently. I absolutely love supporting local bookstores and independent sellers, and I really try to diversify where I buy my books from. With all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the book haul. I'm super excited to talk about books with you guys today. The first book I picked up is Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I'm really excited about this one. It's near the top of my TBR honestly right now, so I wanted to go ahead and get a copy. I haven't read anything by Kristen Hanna, but I've heard great things about this book specifically, so I thought it could be a good introduction to Kristen Hanna. I think that she typically as an author writes historical fiction, which is a genre that's kind of hit or miss for me. I kind of tend to struggle a little bit with getting into certain historical fictions. It really does depend. Sometimes if I feel like I don't know enough about that historical era that the book is written in, then I sometimes struggle to like picture the book or have things come to life in my head, and it makes the reading experience dulled for me if the writing is not descriptive enough. So I've had that experience once or twice with historical fiction, and it makes me a little bit wary of it, which is why I thought I would start with Firefly Lane to kind of get into Kristen Hanna, and then I could kind of branch out from there. This book specifically spans over 3 decades, I think from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I don't even really think of like fiction set in the 70s and 80s as like too much of like historical because it's not too long ago, but this book basically is just about 2 women and their friendship over I think 3 decades and how it defines their lives. And so I thought this book sounded right up my alley. I love stories about women and friendship, and I just thought it'd be an excellent way to kind of dive into Kristen Hanna and see what she's all about. Next, I picked up Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I have never read anything by Kennedy Ryan, but I've been hearing amazing things about her as an author and about this book specifically. This book is about Yasmin and Josiah, I think, and I think it's like a second chance romance, and that this couple is divorced and like is co-parenting their kids and running a business together. And then I think they kind of maybe fall back in love, considering the titles Before I Let Go. Maybe like before they let go of each other, they decide not to let go. I don't know. That is pretty much all I know about this book. I think there is like a sequel, not a formal sequel, but I think they're like interconnected standalones. But anyways, if I like this one, then maybe I'll want to read those as well, and I'm excited to try another new author. Okay, next I picked up A Familiar Set of 3. If you watched my latest vlog, I actually read Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood in that video. And that book really surprised me. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, and it made me want to kind of go back and revisit some of Ali Hazelwood's old books and see what I thought. So I actually have already read The Love Hypothesis, and I really liked this one as well. I read this one like I think 2 years ago at this point, but I haven't had a chance to read Love Theoretically or Love on the Brain, so I wanted to pick these up to give them a chance as well. I recently learned that Ali Hazelwood like actually has some kind of advanced degree in STEM. I can't remember exactly the specific, but I feel like that gives her so much more like validity to writing these stories to me. She could be drawing on some of her own experiences of getting her degree. But basically this one, Love Theoretically, I've heard really great things about this. This one's been on my list for a while. It's about Elsie and Jack, and turns out that Elsie makes up for her non-existent paycheck by offering her services as a fake girlfriend. And it turns out that her client's older brother is Jack. That's I think kind of how they end up meeting up. And then I think B and Levi in this one have to co-lead some kind of project, but they're like academic enemies. So they both sound fun, and I'm excited to read these ones hopefully soon, and also excited to add this one to my shelf. All right, I also picked up for my shelf, this is just like a trophy.
You just don't get it.
This is one of my 5-star reads from June. It's Sally Hepworth's Darling Girls. And when it comes to 5-star reads, I just typically need to have them on my shelf. So I didn't want to let this one go and forget about her, and so I just wanted to pick this one up to add to my shelf since I really loved it. And this is a thriller, but I'll link my June reading wrap up in a card if you guys want to check out that video and see all my thoughts on this book. Next up I picked up The Ministry of Time by Kayleigh Bradley. I'm not sure how to pronounce her first name, but this one is, I think it's her debut novel, and it's already a New York Times bestseller, and it's in the Good Morning America book club, so snaps for you. This book really picked up some traction recently, I think because Emily Henry like mentioned it in an interview or something like that, and then of course everyone's like, oh my gosh, I want to read what Emily Henry's reading. So this book is your favorite author's favorite author, you know what I mean?
I'm your favorite artist.
I think this book involves quite a bit of time travel, so if that's something you're interested in, it might be one that you would enjoy. Basically, I think our main female character is kind of working with someone from like the 1840s who's time traveled to the future, and she's helping to kind of assimilate him to the present day. And I think we kind of explore that dynamic. That's kind of the basic premise of this book, I think, but I'm sure there's a lot more to it. This one seemed like kind of like a cozy fall vibe. I definitely had fall in mind for a few of these books, and this was definitely one that I think I'm gonna want to put on my fall TBR. So another new author, which is exciting, and I'm hopeful to get to this one in the fall as well. Okay, moving right along, we have Lucy Score, another new author to me. I have not read anything from Lucy before. This is Things We Never Got Over. I'm sure you are familiar with this book. I have seen it literally everywhere. This is technically called the Knock 'Em Out series, so there's also Things We Hide from the Light and Things We Left Behind. But I thought I would just start with the first one and see how I like it. So the basic premise of this, it seems, is that we have Naomi, who's a runaway bride, and she's running to this small town called Knock 'Em Out, and her evil twin Tina lives there. So we have Naomi and Tina. And then I guess the evil twin Tina steals Naomi's car and then leaves Naomi with the niece she didn't know she had. So I guess Tina has a daughter. So now Naomi has fled her wedding and has found herself as a guardian to an 11-year-old in a small town with no car, no money, and no plan. And then I think the love interest in this book, his name is Knox, and he is a barber. And that's all I really know. So we'll see how I like this one. I was just having FOMO with the series. Honestly, I feel like it's time that I read it because I've just heard everyone talking about it. All right, let's do some fantasy. I picked up Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. It was a little ambitious of me to get Iron Flame when I haven't read Fourth Wing yet, but I just kind of figured based on everyone's reactions to these books that I was gonna want to know what happens next. I don't know too much about these books other than the fact that they are romantasy books that went insanely viral last year and everyone was talking about them. So I know that it is time for me to read them, and I wanted to do a video reading Fourth Wing for the first time soon. So if you want to see a vlog like that, let me know. All I really know about this is that there's a war college for dragon riders. I love a college or university setting. I feel like that's always really cozy, and then dragon riders is really fun as well. I love House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, so I think that element is going to be something that I definitely like as well. Okay, next book I picked up is The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery by Gabrielle Zevin, who also wrote Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which was a hit book, I think, of 2023, last year. And so I've been hearing great things about this book as well and wanted to pick it up to give it a chance. I think it's a pretty short book. Yeah, it's like 250 pages, so I thought it could be a nice, easy, quick one to throw in the mix, and also kind of a different genre as well. It basically says A.J. Fickery's life is not at all what he expected it to be. He lives alone, his bookstore is experiencing the worst sales in its history, and now his prized possession, a rare collection of Poe poems, has been stolen. But when a mysterious package appears at the bookstore, its unexpected arrival gives Fickery the chance to make his life over and see everything anew. Sounds like a really interesting read to me, and I just thought it could be nice to kind of mix up the genres and read some more from Gabrielle Zevin because I really enjoyed her other book, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. All right, next I picked up Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This is the Barnes & Noble special edition, so it has the blue flower petals. This is the second book in the Powerless trilogy. I read Powerless in June as well and loved it, so I was really excited when Reckless came out at the beginning of July, so I had to pick it up this month, and I'm really excited to give it a read. I actually just started reading it. I've read like the first chapter, so I can't wait to share my thoughts on this one soon as well. I don't want to say too much just since this one's a sequel, so I don't want to give anything away. I mean, I don't know that much yet, considering I read one chapter. You can hear more about my thoughts on Powerless in my June reading wrap-up as well, and I kind of explain more about the book, the kingdom, the setup, and all of that, but I'm excited to continue the story in book 2. Another book on my fall TBR that I wanted to go ahead and pick up is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I recently read a novel love story by Ashley Poston, and then earlier this year I also read The 7-Year Slip. This is one of her earlier novels, and most of Ashley Poston's books involve some kind of magical realism, which I really like, but I thought that magical realism vibe could be really fun for fall, so I wanted to wait and save this one for then because I just feel like it's usually pretty cozy. So here's a quick synopsis. It says, Florence Day is the ghostwriter for one of the most prolific romance authors in the industry, and she has a problem. After a terrible breakup, she no longer believes in love. It's as good as dead. So she's prepared to kiss her career goodbye because her new editor isn't going to give her an extension on her book deadline, but then she gets a call that she needs to return home to her small town for the first time in a decade to help bury her father. And so I think she encounters a ghost when she goes home and is there for the funeral. Oh, maybe the ghost is her editor. Maybe he died. I can't really tell. I think this is like possibly a ghost love story, but even if it's not, we've got magical realism, we've got ghosts, we've got love, we've got cozy vibes. I'm excited for this one, and I really loved 7 Year Slip, and I liked but didn't love A Novel Love Story. So I'm excited to read this one from Ashley Poston to get a better sense of some of her other writing. Moving right along, we have The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This one's been on my mind and my radar for several years now and just have never picked it up, but I thought this one kind of had like a fall vibe to it as well for some reason. I've heard really good things about this in random different reading vlogs I've been watching from people lately, and I'm really excited to hopefully read this one soon. I think it has a bit of magic in it as well, which is always fun. This one says, a magical island, a dangerous task, a burning secret. It sounds like this is a love story masterly told about the profound experience of discovering an unlikely family in an unexpected place. So sounds like there's a little bit of found family, a little bit of magical realism. I think this is also a gay love story. I'm really excited for this one, and I think it's gonna be unlike a lot of things I've read before. So I think it sounds like a really unique story, and I'm excited for that. Okay, and the last book in my book haul today is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood, another new author to me. I saw this as one of Book of the Month's July picks, and it had caught a lot of people's eye for that reason. Also, this cover is just so freaking cute. I was obsessed when I saw it with like the colors and just the design of it. The basic premise of this one, it says a recently deceased woman meets the one in the afterlife waiting room, scoring a second chance at life and love if she can find him on Earth before 10 days are up. So that sounds really intriguing to me. It got some good reviews on the back from Carly Fortune and Ashley Poston, so love seeing some other authors that I enjoy endorsing this as well. And I just thought it'd be fun to give it a shot. And again, like the kind of afterlife vibe. I don't know if I'll get to this one in summer or fall, but it kind of felt like a good transitional book for summer to fall because it seems like summer romance vibes, like the bright colors and the romance, but also kind of having this like meeting the one in the afterlife waiting room has a little bit of like a spooky vibe to it. So I thought it could be a good like August, September, like easing out of summer and into fall read. Just a good option for any mood readers out there because I definitely like to read with the seasons. Alright guys, that is going to be it for my book haul today. If you have read and loved any of the books that I showed in this video, definitely let me know in the comments so that I can prioritize and bump up some of those books on my TBR. It's always helpful to have great recommendations from you guys as well, and it helps me know what I should read next. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below with the book emoji so that I can know who made it to the end. Be sure to subscribe to my channel down below if you are not already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone!